It's time for Coffee Talk with 2BlindCrew. Yeah, 2BlindCrew. 2BlindCrew.
Daddy, what's wrong with you?
And welcome to Coffee Talk with 2BlindCrew. I am Jeff.
I am Greg. How you doing?
And it is time for some coffee talk. So what's up with coffee talk, Greg? What are we doing? What are we talking about? I don't know. We got nothing.
We're just hanging out.
A lot of times, we'll hear from the Lord a particular direction we should go, and apparently communications are down, or our antennas are broken, or
That's probably just the way it's supposed to be.
or it's just time for some fun. So Greg had the idea, so I'm pinning this on you if it's a miserable failure.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
No, it was his idea, but I agree. We're just talking. It's coffee talk. Greg, why don't you start out? We're just sharing weird experiences. Not necessarily fun stuff, but just fun stuff.
Different things, I guess, today. I was sitting here thinking a minute ago, but this is off subject since we don't have one, so I guess it's on subject.
Exactly.
Are there areas in your house that, as far as you're being blind, that you're not allowed to participate in? Do you have stuff that you can?
I don't know if there's areas I'm not allowed, but there's areas I'm afraid to go in. For example,
That's two different things.
my wife's closet. I've been in there before, and I've tried to straighten it up and remove the shoes so I can clean the hardwood floors at the bottom, and it's not recommended.
No, you don't do that.
Imelda Marcos doesn't like it when you mess with her shoes. Apparently, they're in some sort of mystical order.
Of course. Yeah, you don't want to have to look down when you get dressed. You slip your feet in them. No, I knew this rule when I was in my first round, when I had teenage daughters and stuff, that you just do not do their laundry. Do not. Just stay away from the laundry. And I knew better, because once they had a cashmere sweater, and I thought I was really doing them a favor. I did all their laundry, and they came home, and then they were like screaming because the clothes fit their baby dolls after that. So, of course, being a man, that this one wasn't all my fault, and I can say that because Kim's not in here. But I did that again this week.
Oh no!
We got mixed up on the laundry, and I re-washed some clothes, and we just had a miscommunication. And of course, I just hit the dry button, and it's hot, and so Kim was like, "Oh man." So she had these clothes that she was wearing, some tops and some pants, and I think we're going to give them to our 5-year-old granddaughter now. I think they'd fit her just right.
Oh my goodness!
I think that's a thing there.
I don't know that I've ever shrunk anything, but I have been known to alter the colors and hues of certain things. You're pretty certain the colors are separated, and somehow that one black sock or the one red T-shirt somehow snuck into the whites. And yeah, I'm sure we have our towels are kind of that tie-dye look. I'm guessing.
Well, I'm trying to convince Kim into just getting rid of all the colored towels and washcloths. Just go with white. I bleach everything, and we're done. But
That's great, man. You look like some kind of cleric or something, dressed in white from head to toe,
yeah,
or
and
an
it sparkles.
angel.
It kind of glows. Yeah. But I guess really she could get back at me very easily by. I usually have this color identifier that I do my clothes with, my socks and stuff. But sometimes she'll help me, and I can't help but wonder, is she doing this on purpose? Black and white, black and white. You just never can tell. Yeah, that looks great with those pants. So lesson one is never ask, if you're blind, don't ask your spouse if your clothes match if she's mad.
Yeah,
That's good.
that could be a thing. I always wondered, especially growing up when my eyes were significantly better than they are today, and I grew up being a big fan of Stevie Wonder, not just because of his musical talents, but
His hair.
yeah, the hair. No, and we're talking
Sorry.
the long braids, I presume.
Yeah.
But no, it's he and I share one thing in common, and apparently and sadly, it's not the level of musical talent. It's the what made him blind is retinitis pigmentosa, and that's what I got. Just not nearly as bad, and of course, again, nowhere near the talent. But I always wondered, if somehow science or a touch from the divine, one day he could see 2020. And he went back and looked at all the videos from all the award shows and performances. Would he be angry at how people have been dressing him all these years? Or would he think, wow, that's pretty cool? I'm just saying, he's worn some pretty wild outfits. I just wonder if he had a
I
clue.
just wish I had some of them because I'd probably wear them. I really want, because I used to play music out a lot. I always wanted a Porter Wagner outfit. You
Who?
know, Porter Wagner.
Who is
I
that?
forgot. You're not a country guy. He had this show, and he had a Spangle outfit. It was I forget what you call them, sequins and all that stuff. Pants, jacket, everything just sparkled. Man, his hair was in place. Had the tie going, the whole spiel. It was great.
Well, I don't know if this might be close, but I've always kind of envisioned you as more of a rhinestone cowboy,
Rhinestones. That's what it was.
or
Yeah.
like Elvis a la 1970 Aloha from Hawaii tour with that white jumpsuit he wore with the big giant collar.
And back with the white again. See, maybe that's
But
it's
you
best.
also have to, did he have those like big Elton John looking sunglasses that went with that
Yeah,
jumpsuit?
yeah, and the hair. I don't have the hair anymore.
Like
I,
our bunch.
maybe I should be an Elvis impersonator in my next life. That'd be great.
Uh, Elvis.
Maybe I could be a Jeff Garillo impersonator.
That.
Next week we'll do that. We'll dress up like each other. All right, anyway, forget that. I was
I-
talking about laundry and stuff. It got me to thinking about something. One time I used to, whenever I was there was a period of time where I was having a lot of eye surgeries, and I could see really good until my eye would like perforate and pop, and then cornea would leak and all those fun things. And then I'd have to go generally to Cincinnati to get it fixed. And one time I was headed that way, it had happened, and everything in the house had gone wrong. The water heater had caught on fire downstairs. The front porch fell off of the house like 2 days before that, and then my eye popped. So my sister comes over to help me get stuff ready to go on this stinking trip, and I had done laundry, but so I told her, I said, well, my clothes are in the dryer. Just grab those jeans and t-shirts out of there and just throw them in the suitcase, and I'll be fine. So we did that, and my daughter drove me to started towards Cincinnati, and we stopped in Asheville at another eye doctor's office. But the really sad part of the story is about halfway up the mountain, the telephone rings, and it was her husband. They lived with me at the time. And he said, have you seen all my clothes? And Katie said, well, no, they were in the dryer. Apparently she had changed the clothes from the dryer and dried his. I said, oh gosh, they're in my suitcase. So I was headed to Cincinnati with my son-in-law's clothes, which were not going to fit. And there was some redeeming grace in this. I couldn't believe it. My eye doctor in Asheville was a great guy. And we told him, and Katie and I were sitting there laughing, and he laughed, but he came back in the room about 15 minutes later, and the doctor's office had taken up a collection, and he gave me $200 and some and gave them to my daughter and said, go get him some clothes.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's
I
pretty all
couldn't
right.
believe it. But God, you talk about feeling kind of stupid. It's like, oh, I don't have any clothes. So
That is
anyway,
funny.
that's pretty bad.
And then the
That's
bad side of that story, then you had to squeeze a shopping trip in there, but
yeah,
uh,
that was good.
yeah, I'm not one for shopping.
No, I don't
So if
do
I
it.
look funny, it's because my wife dresses me funny. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I hate shopping for clothes.
Somebody asked me why you always wore pink shirts. I'm
I'd
sorry.
argue with you, but I guess I can't. I don't know. I think I'm wearing black or blue or something. I'm not real sure. I think most of my stuff is black and blue.
Oh man,
Matches my inner child, black and
yeah, black and blue. It's a
it's
good
all
thing all those
from
bruises go away, and
traumas of the past, but
we can't fall down anymore. You just can't fall without really paying for it.
yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to a day where I can see the counter coming. I'm just saying.
Uh, yeah, me and you both. Those counters for both of us. You knocked your head pretty bad or nose, didn't you?
Yeah, it was. I had a little tiny cut on the bridge of my nose, but it was really my forehead, and my head was ringing for about 2 days. Yeah, it wasn't an official diagnosis, but I self-diagnosed mild concussion. But it
Yeah,
probably was just. I think the official word diagnosis was I got a boo boo.
right. It's amazing though how they hurt, and I think God gives you a harder head whenever you're blind or something. Because I walked into a door that was half open the other day, and I swear I heard something crack, and I didn't know. I don't know whether it was me or the door. It's just
Oh,
you just do that a lot. It's just part of being blind, I guess. You just gotta get. It slowed me down a lot. I used to walk really fast before I lost my sight,
hmm.
just ADD and ding, dong, brr, but now not anymore. Uh,
Why'd you start talking Chinese, man? What are you doing?
well,
I thought you were talking about the new president for life, what's his name, Jinping or something like that.
she, or something. Yeah, I don't
All
know.
right, before we get into trouble with our potential Asian followers, let's move on. You know,
Please.
we talk about all these crazy stories going blind, and the one thing the Bible doesn't tell us are the behind the scenes stories of after Saul, later referred to as Paul. He was struck blind in Damascus, and he spent however many days it was. Off the top of my head, I'm going blank, just remembering this on the fly. But yeah, he had to travel and be brought to uh, the guy that was waiting to pray for him and restore his
Right.
sight. But you know, clearly it was his first.
Caiaphas or something, wasn't it?
It was something like that. It was his first trip as a blind man. No pun intended, or is it? I don't know. But crazy things had to have been happening for him. He walked into a couple of camels or tripped over something, or clearly, the Bible didn't report it. But
Yeah.
you just
I've
wonder, like one day that'll have to be one of the conversations we have at the marriage feast of the Lamb.
Yeah, well, that those texts always thought about those a lot more because you and I have kind of stumbled into that. One day you're seeing, and the next day, bam, there's something happened, and so you kind of can relate to that being sort of lost.
Yeah,
You're here, but you're not, sort of thing.
yeah. You
So
you more so than me. You had more of a a fast change. Me, it was real gradual. I recall pretty vividly trying to shave one day, looking in the mirror and just realizing, oh my gosh, it got blurry to the point where for the first time I couldn't really see my face clearly. It could no longer see like my own eyes and tell what eye color I had, and that just kind of freaked me out. That realization that one day, like, oh no, we're crossing
whoops.
into a whole different realm here. That
Yeah,
was disturbing, but
it's not good. Mine
yeah.
was real slow for a while, and then when it started going, man, there was like one day I think some kind of fat lipid or something came out of a blood vessel and got in my cornea, and that the party was over. It just turned real white and gooey, and that's all I saw. It was really strange, but yeah, it makes you wonder about that kind of stuff. And then when Jesus healed these blind guys, and it was always kind of interesting to me when he healed anybody. Generally, he told them not to go back the way you came or not go back into the town. And when I was doing recovery ministry, that had particular meaning to the gang, and in that when we're healed from stuff, Jesus kind of gives us a second chance sometimes and tells us, turn, don't go back to where you came from. Uh, because he just knows we're going to fall back into the same stuff again. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Go back into the city, and whether it's blindness or what. Um,
Well, it
we got
kind
to
of
be
reminds me
careful.
of when he said, "Now go and sin no more, lest something worse come upon you." And
Yeah. Well,
well,
that's it.
actually,
'Cause,
for starting so incredibly random, we actually ended up someplace by accident. I like it.
yeah, it's always good. God did come out.
We should probably cut it right here,
He
though,
works.
before
He
we mess
works
it up and get
well
back
with
to some.
fools. I hope, but yeah, it's been good. Next week, we will be back. I'm headed to West Virginia. Maybe I'll bump into some of my buddies up there at the Isaac Jackson motel, and
Free
up
plug,
there.
free plug.
Yeah, free plug. I get to go back. I love that place. It's a great motel up
Now,
there.
what instrument did he play?
I don't know. I think
What,
he
it's one of
played
the
the.
Jackson Five
Yeah,
or
he was the bass player.
that was the sixth one, right? The one they
Yeah,
didn't talk about.
yeah, yeah. He's the one that made the cinnamon rolls. Oh
Well,
gosh. Well,
I
thank you,
think
Jeff.
this is it. This sounds like a good place to wrap this package up. What do you say, Greg?
God bless you. See you soon.
Subscribe, tell a friend.
Please.